Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Rapid Fire Comment Response for December 21st through the 27th. These are some of the best short comments from that time period. Mario M. James stresses the fact that Mike would not be appearing in any future Cinemassacre videos, but he did find time to thank Screenwave right away. Kind of funny how that happens, right? I noticed that. Like right after that comment, that 15-second comment about Mike, he focuses on Screenwave and thanks Screenwave. Just kind of weird, right? Almost like that was a prepared statement. Ultima NEO, yeah, without the OGs and just a reluctant James with no time, AVGN just isn't going to be the same. I've heard James say that a whole lot, right? Even during videos, like gameplay videos. He just doesn't have time. He just doesn't have time, right? Well, I mean, he doesn't have a day job, correct? So I'm tired of hearing all these YouTubers say that they don't have time when they don't have day jobs. Like, literally, if YouTube's your job, then I would say you have fucking time. Sneaky V. I wouldn't be surprised if the future if Screenwave just goes ahead and uploads a new AVGN episode with a different person dressed up like James as the angry video game nerd without telling anyone. It would be sort of like how they did with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with having a new Aunt Vivian suddenly in the cast surprising viewers. I mean, a lot of people may laugh at that, but if they could get away with it, they would, I mean, they got, Mike's gone, and then Kyle's gone, and Bootsy's gone. They figured, all we need is this one right here. But what happens if, they have issues with James? I'm serious. What happens if they start having issues with James? Would they actually move that character onto one of the Screenwave guys? Maybe they have maybe they have James kind of sign off on it. And I know it sounds crazy, right? But also, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think a lot of people didn't think that they would have a new Aunt Vivian and everything. I think it's the first time on a TV show they've ever actually just replaced a character and played off like it's the same character. Because usually they kill off characters on sitcoms. So, yeah, it's kind of weird there. But it's an interesting thought, Who do you think would be the new angry video game nerd? Heavy Metal Gamer Show, who I don't know. I know there was a match. I'm not sure at the ending. I haven't seen it, right? There was a match between me and him on NBA 2K20. All right, there was a match there. I'm not sure who virtually won or lost, but I'll check that out later. I was drunk, though. Okay, I was drunk. That's my excuse. I was drunk if I lost that match. So, yeah, there you go. Ha 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 ha. I've always got an excuse. How you like that, Heavy Metal Gamer Show? AVGN just jumped the shark a long time ago. As for Mike, good riddance, never liked him. Maybe it's time to retire the nerd character and just go do gaming videos, or Let's Plays or some crap. I've actually had a little bit to drink. I don't know if people notice, but this is kind of fun. I thought, hey, Rick, can you really get through this somewhat drunk? So I might slur some of the words. A lot of people don't like Mike. After watching that Mike and James playthrough and hearing him basically just, I'm like, that's freaking nails on a chalkboard. I get how he's responsible for the nerd character, but I just couldn't imagine. Could you imagine like Mike dressed up as a video game nerd? That wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. But retiring their nerd character, yeah, at some point, James is actually going to retire, right? Who knows when? At some point, maybe he'll pass on the glasses to somebody else, like we said. But what if he doesn't? What if it's like 40 years from now? I'm going to talk about the shitty games that suck ass. Neo Genesis, what happens if you shoot the guy? You're talking about The Walking Dead. You're talking about The Walking Dead. That part, when you meet up with Clem and she's behind you and everything, she's got the shotgun and you have a choice to, shoot somebody or not shoot them. Well, I chose not to shoot this guy. I chose not to, but they give you choices. Usually in a Telltale game, the choices don't mean jack. Usually the same things kind of happen regardless. That's one thing I hate about the Telltale games is the choices usually don't mean that much of a difference because ultimately the same things happen. But it'd be interesting for anyone who's played that. What happens if you shoot the guy? Does Clem shoot you and the game's over and then it takes you back to, make a different choice? I'm sure the dialogue would be different between you and Clem, and she wouldn't be as nice to you seeing you, shoot that person. Hayden Puds. It's 15 seconds longer than Bootsy or Kyle got. Yeah, it is 15 seconds, but, Bootsy and Kyle didn't even get that, Again, I think a lot of the fans are just mad that on this channel there wasn't any proper send-offs whatsoever. And Screamwave just feels like they can just, and I don't know, a lot of people don't really know what's going on, and I can't claim to say that I know exactly what's going on. But at the very least, you want to have some kind of a send-off for some of these, characters of that show, right? But Mike did get 15 seconds more than Bootsy or Kyle. So, yeah. Action X. Anyone here from The Truth? I didn't know what you talked about at first, but it's Cinemassacre The Truth. There's a Reddit thread. And apparently from time to time, people post my videos on that Reddit thread, and I didn't know that, Just a weird kind of thought. Like, I don't know how many different places on the internet people are posting and sharing my videos on different forms of social media and things like that. Just kind of a weird thought, Like, I don't know, where Radical Rick's going to pop up, or I'll be on a site somewhere and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they're talking about one of my videos. Interesting, right? Beyond Ghost. Classic Game Room was always better to me back in the day. AVGN just doesn't really hold up that well anymore. Silent Rob even said, so many channels over the years have done it better. Oh, Robbie. What people don't seem to understand is, somebody came by months back and they said, well, you agree with Rob here. Why are you saying all these things about him here? Well, the thing is, I probably agree with Rob on a lot of things. When it comes to AVGN, I probably actually agree with Rob on a lot of things. You said so many channels over the years have done it better. Well, the weird thing about Rob is, I think currently DSP is doing e-begging better. I'm not saying that he can't possibly reach that level. I mean, he is getting $100 donations, right? And not worrying about that whatsoever, right? So he's taking in that much charity in his donations on his live streams. Maybe he could get a vest. So I put that challenge onto Rob. Maybe he can e-beg even harder. Actually, no. Yes, e-begging's a bad thing. I don't want to see him e-beg. I don't. So sometimes people will wonder, hey, Rick, what's your deal? What's your issue? I just don't like e-begging. And it doesn't matter who's doing it, whether it's a person I agree with a lot of the time or not. I just don't fucking like it. Moon Knight 1985. Why do people hold AVGN on a pedestal? I get that he was kind of YouTube's first kind of game reviewer, but meh. As far as holding, on a pedestal, right? Usually you think about that when it comes to women and females. A lot of guys hold a female on a pedestal, and they're simps for that female, whether it be in real life or the internet. It's just kind of weird to see a lot of simps for AVGN. You've seen in comment sections. Oh, he's such a wholesome guy. He's so wholesome, right? The weird thing is, okay, lovable, wholesome. People talk about James like he's a fucking Cabbage Patch doll, This is how much, really think about it. How much of James, I'm not saying he's not a, nice guy in person. I've heard people say he's a really cool guy in person. But really deep down think about it. Okay, this is YouTube. These are created characters. I just had an upload talking about how, they were playing Donkey Kong Country 3, and it was obviously contrived. So just think about how much of these characters is actually real and how much is actually just put on. Sean Appenzeller. Mike is really the guy who actually played those bad games all the way through, and I feel like the angry part is actually based off of him. I think that gave Mike a payout along with the NDA about Screwwave ruining the channel. I don't know. It's a possibility. Whenever there's a situation where someone doesn't answer follow-up questions, there's a lot of people that have questions for Mike Matei. It could be very simple. But this whole situation just feels kind of weird with how sudden it is. And I think somebody even referenced not that long ago, Mike was talking about some future James and Mike Mondays. So the key here would be actually finding some statements from Mike, maybe happy about future episodes. And so there could be an NDA, but I haven't seen any proof of it. But anything's possible, right? Arioka. F these games. I like them, but couldn't resist the obvious joke. Yeah, I have some really good F games, and I think I might have had some other F jokes lined up. And you know what? It's on to the next letter. Okay, I can't do that again. Unless I start collecting games more and have an F update. A fucking game update. Marcos Kosivaksix, that rolls off the tongue. Hey shithole, Johnny is 12 years a YouTuber. Show some respect. If you don't have it, close your fucking channel. My response to him was, hey shithole, Rick is one of the best commentators on YouTube. Show some respect. If you don't have it, deactivate your fucking commenting profile. There you go. Diego Medina, Radical Reggie wasn't wrong. Thought was a damn guy. Opinions, feelings don't count when going against science. Yeah, you're talking about the call me ma'am. I thought it was a dude too. Oh, wait, it was a dude. If you saw that in a GameStop, barreling over, knocking over displays, you'd be like, hey, bro, what the fuck, man? What the fuck, man? Call me ma'am. Like, no, I'm not going to call you ma'am because you're not a fucking ma'am, okay? It's insanity, right? It's insanity. And the fact that Radical Reggie would be put in a doghouse for that shit, it's fucking messed up. The Winged Avenger. The Xbox 360 was better than the PS3. Ooh, you're going to start a war. You're going to start a war. Actually, I think the Xbox 360 was better for third-party ports. But probably, especially towards the end, the last year, what did the 360 have? I think they had the Gears of War Judgment, and then PS3 had The Last of Us, I mean, you could probably compare do a good comparison if you want to about the top 10 games for the 360 originals and the top 10 games for the PS3. Now, 360 does have an edge, I think, because it was out a year before the PS3, Terry W. Hey, nice collection of F games, but come on, have you got all the achievements? I'll have you know, I have every achievement and have completed those games 100%. In fact, I'm going to do a review of Fallout New Vegas tomorrow. Actually, I'm not. It's kind of funny, though. Right? George Alves, you like Beck? That makes me very happy. Yeah, I like Beck. In fact, I've got a devil's haircut in my mind. Yeah, that was a trippy song you had a couple years ago. Like, what was it? Yeah, it was like kind of like it had a nice bass line. It was different. It was Beck, but it was kind of different. I like some of his albums. I think he's a really talented guy. It's just what did I leave you a link to? Look up Space Ghost Beck interview. It's pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny. Silver Music Box. That DS McDonald's video was interesting. As ridiculous as it was that someone paid that much for a game, at the very least, he dumped the game online for others to play rather than being selfish. I hate it when those collectors don't want to dump the rare prototypes games they have that are not backed up. I was going to leave a comment there like, man, you paid over $3,000 for a DS game. But then I saw what he did with it. He got it and he dumped it online for people to get. And everything. And I think that's great. So many collectors, sometimes they'll get something and they'll do the collecting choice and not dump it online, even if they're, really big into the gaming communities, when, they could have a choice and they could be like, you know what, I'm going to make it available for everybody. And an instant like this, no one's going to be selling the DS McDonald's game. No one's going to be making money in the future off of it. So it's just a piece of gaming like history. And I think it's really good that he did that. I forget the channel name. Sorry, I forgot the name of the guy. Vic Viper. People will still buy a PlayStation even if it has no games. Quoting then Sony CEO Ken Kutaragi. Did he actually say that shit? Oh, at this point, Sony obviously didn't really bring a whole lot of exclusives this current generations. And hell, Microsoft didn't have shit. But still, a lot of people will buy these consoles. Certain people will buy every new console that comes out, regardless of what it is. Some people will even buy the Amico. The Winged Avenger. If you ever feel like blood flow is a problem, drink a couple glasses of water, as water is a natural blood thinner. In general, you should drink at least 1.5 liters of pure water a day. Tea, coffee, and other drinks don't count as water. Hold on here. Taking your advice there. And a reply to that was from Ektar. Can confirm, but if you take it to a high level, you would be going to the toilet once every hour whilst at work. Some jobs are stricter than others when it comes to this. Okay, you got to time. You got to time your peas and your poops. You got to time. Was that character on Family Guy? Okay, let's do your peas and your poops with his dog. You got to time your peas and your poops, everybody, right? You know, get yourself in a rhythm. And once you're in a rhythm, you pretty much can like dictate when you pee and when you poop. Okay, if you're really good at it, you're like, okay, I'm going to eat this meal. I'm going to drink all this right here. And then you'll kind of know around what time, just kind of plan for that. There's nothing worse than being in a job and not being able to go to the bathroom, and worse possibility is your body will make the choice for you and you will piss your fucking pants or you will shit your pants, right? Do you really want that to happen? Working wherever, let's say you're working at the gas station and you're shitting your pants, right? You just like got to walk around or, sit down and shit all day because you can't go to the bathroom. So yeah, take their advice. Warehouse Dave. Review horse USA. I wonder. I'm curious. I know that you can't show your stuff on YouTube. You can't show human parts on YouTube. But I've seen videos like, people milking cows and everything, right? So they can show udders on a cow. But could he actually reframe that whole channel to review different ones? Maybe goes to get a ranch, and he just reviews different ones. I don't know. I'm gonna stop there. I just can't. It's too silly even for me. Outdated gear. Rick, this reminds me of the plexiglass that I would see on subwoofer boxes. Did the plexiglass add anything to the sound, or was it just for show? I tell you, bandpass boxes, plexiglass boxes, usually they don't sound as good as traditional wood boxes. And yet, for show, especially if you put neon in there and it reflects off the glass. I mean, just for show. A lot of car audio is for sound, yeah, but a lot of it also is for show, And I'm not going to lie, I wanted to get that, and since it's been hooked up, there's not any drive-through or place I don't go to that doesn't notice that light in the back because I have my trunk open in the back. Well, the rear seats are taken out and everything like that. That way the sound, it's a lot better because I got a port and it pushes the sound forward and everything like that. So my system sounds great and also it looks great. Haddington Rose. Last Christmas I gave you a donation. The very next day you gave me jack shit. This year, to save me some funds, I won't send a damn thing. Mary Osen. Those lights look sick, and the addition of Frapp, Snowland, Sherbertland is great too. Merry Christmas, Rick. Hope more people wake up to the e-begging of not just the retro game community, but all of YouTube as well in the new year. I sure hope so, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Thank you for liking that. I just wanted to add some Christmas cheer to people, right? And I hooked that amp up that day, and I thought, you know what? Christmas lights. I'll just upload a silly 1-minute thing, call it Christmas lights, and put on some Mario Kart music, and then we'll call it a day. And last but not least, we got Shinra Returns. Neo collecting has gone far too expensive. Even worse is the amount of conversion carts and bootlegs doing the rounds. I do have 14 or so home carts, and they are the centerpiece of my games collection. I also play them regularly. I would love to acquire some more, but the ones I want are too expensive. What would you say the most expensive Neo Geo game is? What are the ones that you want? I'm sure people will donate them to you because you're a big time games. Oh no, wait! You have to get a YouTube channel. You have to sound like this, and then you have to lament that you don't have certain games in your collection. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. Right? And bootlegs or the rip-off ones or conversion or whatever you call it, I don't see why they would be expensive. I don't understand that. Neo Geo is one of the systems probably out of top 3 that I'll probably go back and collect for. That's one of them, especially from the 90s. I have too many systems as it is already of playing games. So, if I collected it, I guess I would want a system that looks great and the games that had great artwork, but then it would be kind of shallow, though. It would be kind of shallow, right? And I'll refer back to my decision to buy that Soundstream Tarantula amplifier with the really cool neon lights on it. That's something I'm going to see every day. I'm going to take that car with me every single day. And it's not going to be something that just is going to collect dust, you know? I mean, it's part of the car, and it's part of the car, and the car is going to ultimately be a showpiece, right? So, yeah, the Neo Geo. Maybe I can get a Neo Geo. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a Neo Geo, and I'm going to hook it up to my Pioneer DVD player, right? How fucking pimp would that be, right? You know, then I combine everything, right? Man, that's what I got to do, because I'm really passionate about car audio. I know a lot of you are passionate about, you know, games and game collecting. Maybe what I got to do is start installing game systems in the car, right? And then I could combine, you know, a lot of people's passions and everything like that. Okay, well, thanks for listening as always. Have a great day.